Hey everyone, it's Collin here at Etrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the Swagman pickup truck bed bike rack. Now a lot of times we get questions from truck owners about wanting to carry their bikes in the bed of their pickup, but they don't want to lay them down inside the bed of the pickup where they can kind of scoot around while we're traveling. They could scuff each other up, or even with a spray and bed liner like this, you could scuff up the bikes as well. And with a nice carbon fiber bike like you see right here, you really want to make sure you keep that frame in good condition. So with this bike rack, we can get our bikes mounted by their forks upright. You see they're very secure. And one of the things I really like about it is that this is creating more space in the bed of our pickup. So if we're going on a long trip, we want to take our bikes and all of our luggage with us, we can fit our bags and our other cargo around our bikes without having to stack them on top of our bikes if we were to lay them in the bed of the pickup. So along the way, if we want to maybe take off with our bikes and see the trails for a little bit, we don't have to worry about getting all the luggage out, unloading our bikes, and then having to put our bikes in and reload everything when we're done. Another thing I really like about this bike rack is that you can see right here we got a B&So ball mount, and this thing's designed so that you don't ever have to remove it when you're not using it. We just get it in the stowed position. So instead of utilizing a hitch mounted bike rack where we would have to remove our B&W ball mount and get the bike rack installed, we can just use the Swagman pickup truck bed bike rack and utilize that open bed space of the pickup. Now keep in mind, with the fork mounted blocks, you will have to remove your front tires of your bikes. You can see right here we just have them stowed underneath our bikes in the bed of our pickup, but if this makes you uncomfortable, if you've got the space in your cab, you could just toss them in there while you're heading to your destination. Now, this bike rack is going to be great for carrying all your road bikes and mountain bikes. The kit's going to come with 2 fork blocks that you can mount to the bar. Each fork block is going to have a weight capacity of 35 pounds. Now you have the option to add in a 3rd fork block, but keep in mind that the total weight capacity of the bike rack is 80 pounds. So when you add that 3rd bike in, just make sure you're not exceeding that total weight capacity. Now if we take a closer look at our fork block, we're going to have a 9mm quick release skewer right here holding our bike in place. When we're ready to unload our bike, we just loosen up that clamp. The forks come right out of our fork block. When we're going back in place, you can see they just fit right into place. And you can adjust the opening of your fork block of your quick release skewer with this knob on the back side. Once you have it adjusted, you just clamp it down. You can see right there we got a great hold of our bike. And something else I really like about this fork block is that we have a little hole right here where we can run a cable lock through and then around the frame of our bike to keep our bikes locked to the rack. So if we need to run into a convenience store, maybe into a restaurant to grab some dinner, we can do that and keep our bikes locked up. Another thing I really like about this bike rack is that it's a really simple and tool-free install. It doesn't take really much time at all. What we first need to do is push down on this button right here so we can fold it out just like that. Now from here what we'll do is just get it in place on our driver's side first. See, I've kind of got it lined up with our stake pocket right there. And then over here on the passenger side, we're going to take this telescoping arm and pull it out until we've got it snug against our truck bed side rail. And then from there, all we got to do is push down so it locks into place. And then we'll push down on the locking button right there to make sure that it locks, and then we cannot lift it up. Now when your bikes are unloaded, whether you're at home and you're back from the trails, or maybe you're at the trails and you just don't want to leave it unattended, you can stow it inside the cab of your pickup. We'll take one of our 2 included keys and we will unlock this pin right here. Just twist it a little bit, come back, you see the pin pops out. From there we can push down on that button again and then pull up on it. From there the bike rack comes right off, and then we can stow it in the cab of our pickup, or we could just stow it in our garage when it's not in use. Our telescoping arm is going to give us a range of 52 inches at its shortest, all the way up to 69 inches at its longest length. So it's going to fit all of your full-size pickups and most of your mid-size ones like your Colorados, Canyons, and Rangers. We're also going to have a really sturdy steel construction throughout the whole bike rack. It's going to have a black powder coat finish, so it's going to be very durable and it's going to resist rust and corrosion. One thing you want to keep in mind is that this bike rack is not going to work with a tonneau cover installed in your truck bed, so you'll have to make sure you remove the tonneau cover and the side rails if you want to utilize this bike rack. However, if you have a truck bed toolbox and you don't want to remove it, you can still use the bike rack by placing it in front of the toolbox and then getting your bikes loaded up. What you want to keep in mind for short bed pickups, that Swagman recommends keeping the tailgate of your truck closed when you're hauling bikes. Now the fork blocks and the brackets that they're mounted to do have an aluminum construction, so those are still going to be very durable and corrosion resistant. You can also adjust them along the bike rack so that if you want to move both bikes to one side, you can do so, or if you want to spread them out and add a third bike, you have that option as well. Now the side pads right here have some nice treading right here to make sure it gets a really good grip on our side rails. And you can see when we install our truck bed rack, it's got a really tight fit on our side rails, so it's really not going to go anywhere. It's really sturdy. All in all, in my professional opinion, this is a really nice and easy to use bike rack. It's also a really simple solution to get your bikes loaded in the bed of your pickup without having to lay them down where they can get scratched up, or without having to invest in a hitch-mounted bike rack. Well, thank you all for watching, but that's going to do it for our look at the Swagman pickup truck bed bike rack.